Hey, hello, I'm actually recording 2 videos on the same day, so what's up? I still have a headache, my pug is still snoring, and I feel like shit. So let's get started. What better way to talk about a video like this than to be, feeling shitty? Listen here, I used to be a huge fan of Miraculous Ladybug. I loved everything about it and even got some of my friends into it. There are many things I still enjoy about the show today, but unfortunately, unlike the How to Train Your Dragon franchise, the series didn't age with its audience despite young children not exactly being most of the fandom in the first place. Miraculous has had quite the weird cultural impact. However, it is a bit marred by the man who is its creator. He kind of became a French Butch Hartman, which is someone you don't want to be seen as. Let's talk about it. Hey, real quick, if you don't know who I am, my name is Avery and I make videos of myself drawing in the background like creepshow art without the stalking, while I yap about whatever I want D'Angelo Wallace style. I'm a college graduate with 2 degrees in animation and German language, and I do YouTube, Twitch streaming, and art for fun while I tried my damnedest to enter into the animation industry while also trying like hell to get out of the States. If you could subscribe and like the video, that would be great. Following my socials, especially my Twitch, would be amazing too, especially if you like my stuff. It lets me know you'd like to see more from me. Let's get on to the video. Look, I'm no expert on Miraculous Ladybug. I was just a casual fan, so don't expect a full rundown of the history of the show from me. I only know the surface level lore. I can tell you that this show has had quite the impact on both pop and fandom culture though. For example, the infamous Love Square was created. What is the Love Square? Well, I'm glad you asked. Let's get into the plot a little bit. You see, the main character is named Marinette dupain-cheng, the daughter of a baker and whatever Sabine does. And she's just a normal girl with a normal life. If you don't count the fact that she goes to a very popular public school in the middle of Paris, where she's classmates with the chief of police's daughter, the daughter of the Parisian mayor, and a world-famous fashion designer, has a crush on a world-famous model who is the son of another most famous fashion designer. Oh, and is the grandniece of a world-famous Chinese chef. Oh, and that baker father of hers runs the most popular bakery in the damn city. Oh, and she's the former girlfriend and best friend of a pair of twins fathered by a world-famous rock star who has also contracted her personally to design clothing items for him. Am I missing something? Who knows? Anyways, she's just a normal 14-year-old girl, guys, I promise. She also happens to be half of a superhero duo who protects Paris from the severely mentally ill villain that just so happens to secretly be the other half of the duo's father. Okay, I'm getting a bit ahead of myself. Let's start again. Okay, so Marinette dupain-cheng is our main character. She's a 14-year-old girl who lives in Paris with her baker father Thomas and her mother Sabine. She goes to school and lives a fairly normal life and just so happens to be bullied by the fucking mayor of Paris's daughter, Chloe Bourgeois. She also has a crush on the world-famous fashion model Adrien Agreste, who lives with his majorly controlling and mentally abusive father, Gabriel Agreste. Marinette also happens to be part of a superhero duo, Ladybug, and Adrien is the other half, Cat Noir. Neither of them knows the other is a superhero, but for some reason Alia, Mari's best friend, can know that she's Ladybug. Adrien and Marinette are superheroes due to something called a Miraculous. Miraculous are pieces of jewelry that contain kwamis. Kwamis are magical little beings holding special powers and are part of the Chinese zodiac for some reason. Tiki is the kwami of creation and is the reason Mari can transform into Ladybug. Flag is the kwami of destruction and is the reason Adrien can turn into Cat Noir. Together, the two protect Paris from the supervillain known as Hawkmoth, then as Monarch. I'm not gonna play the game the show did with the fans for the first 5 years of the show. Gabriel Agreste is Hawkmoth and he only has a Miraculous because he stole the butterfly Miraculous, which is the Miraculous of manipulation? Hold on. The kwami of transmission. Okay, so basically the Miraculous gives the user the power of turning anyone into a devoted follower. Gabe uses his power to give regular citizens their own superpowers and try to steal the Miraculous from Ladybug and Cat Noir, because when the two are combined, they have the ability to grant any wish, although with a sacrifice to take the wish's place. And Gabe over here is trying to bring his wife back to life. Crazy shit for a kid's show. That was a lot. Were you able to keep up? No? Too bad, because now we talk about the love square. So normal shows may have something called a love triangle, which, is a love story between 3 people in which 2 people are romantically attracted to the same person, or 1 person is attracted to 2 people, or whatever. The point is, it's a plot device used to create a story and drama within a story. The love square can specifically only work in a scenario such as this show. Okay, stay with me. Mari has a crush on Adrien, which means Ladybug has a crush on Adrien. But Adrien is in love with Ladybug, which means Cat Noir is in love with Ladybug. But Ladybug doesn't like Cat Noir that way at all. But because they're both lovesick losers, Mari and Cat have a weird thing going on without realizing that Cat is actually Adrien. And Ladybug absolutely flirts with Adrien, which he loves because, again, he loves Ladybug. But Ladybug can't reveal that she's Marinette without putting Adrien in danger. So instead of a triangle, it's a square that ping-pongs back and forth. And are we sure this is for kids? Because if I wasn't 14 when I started this show, then I would have been majorly fucking confused by all this. And oh fucking boy, does it get more complicated than that. Because, and again, stay with me, Mari is friends with a girl named Julika Kofane, and Julika has a twin brother named Luca. And Luca and Mari fall in love with each other for a bit and end up dating. But this is only after a girl named Kagami Tsurugi comes to Paris because her mother and Gabe are doing some business together. She's put in the same fencing class as Adrien, and the two of them fall in love for a little while, and that's why Mari lets herself fall in love with Luca. But the two couples break up and Adrien finally realizes the fact that he's in love with Mari. But Mari is convinced herself that she's not in love with Adrien anymore, and somehow in all this mess, I know. And children watch this mess. And just like that, 5 pages are taken up. What's next? Oh, so eventually Mari and Adrien do get together, but Gabe isn't happy about it because Mari is making Adrien realize just how toxic of a man his father is. And Gabe likes control. So Gabe tries his damnedest to act like a caring and good and chill father, all the while trying to manipulate him into thinking Mari is a bad person, which she kinda is, more on that later, while also trying to push Kagami and Adrien back together and hiring a girl who despises Marinette named Lila to sabotage Mari so Adrien hates her. None of this shit works, so Gabe forces Adrien to move from Paris away from all of his friends he made for the last 9 months. Yes, this show that's gone on for 10 years only takes place within the span of a full-term pregnancy, to live in some type of torture facility in London for his modeling career. Kagami is taken there too, because why not? So everything is pretty depressing for a few episodes, and we finally get a kiss after 10 motherfucking years. I went from a middle school student to graduating college by the time these two finally fucking kissed. Jesus fucking Christ. Anyways, and I don't remember how it happened, but Mari finds out Gabe is Hawkmoth, and Gabe finds out that Mari is Ladybug, and they fight, and Gabe fucking dies, and the entire world is fucking reset, and they put up a statue of the man who terrorized 2 teenagers, abused his son, and tried to be the fucking dictator of Paris. But we all have our days, right? So if you've watched the show, you'll see a glaring problem. Like, immediately. The villain designs are 9 out of 10 times hideous, which, okay, fair enough, good job, but the fuck is this? On the other hand, we got this beautiful tweet out of it. Within the time that Miraculous has been on air and on paper, there have been multiple controversies, some involving voice actors, but never you, King, the creator himself, and some allegations of racism that, yeah, I can understand that. Of course there are controversies involving the lack of religious imagery or whatever that complaint was. Let's get into some of them. There have been many accusations of racism within the Miraculous universe, and I can't say they're all ridiculous. Now, like I said, I just kept up with the show until season 6, so I haven't read the comic that has this controversy. One of the earliest examples of racism within the show was in the episode Kung Fu. In this episode, we're introduced to Marinette's great uncle Wang, who was a famous Chinese chef. Chloe, being the brat that she is, makes many rude comments to Wang, and Adrien and Marinette call her out on it. This isn't the issue here. Exposing children to the fact that their peers have different and discriminating views isn't a bad thing. Chloe being racist isn't a reflection on Thomas Astruc either. What is a reflection on Astruc is Wang's villain design. There are a lot of things we can say about this. For example, the design looks like a character from Dragon Ball, and there are a lot of stereotypical references to different Asian cultures, and not just Chinese culture, which can be a bit of a problem if you're trying to make a point about racism and end up being racist yourself. We could say that since the villains are in charge of making their own villain costumes, that maybe Wang is a fan of anime, which explains why he looks like a Dragon Ball character. Given Astruc's love of anime and a lack of good writing, I'm more inclined to believe he just wanted an excuse to make a reference, and he decided to use the Asian character to do that. Another example of racism is from this comic that was made years back, where Mari is in the US or something, and she gets spooked by a bunch of black guys she deems to be thugs. Again, I'm not so sure about this one, and I didn't read it, so if you want more info about it, go look look at other YouTubers who have read it, or read it yourself and see if you see a problem with it. Then there's the whole Native American characters thing from the Miraculous and NYC special. In this special, there are two characters who are Native American, but the one that turned heads specifically was Jessica. She has a bit of a stereotypical appearance, and that made me uncomfortable at least. That and the whole Eagle superhero thing. I understand that it's more of an American stereotype rather than just Native American stereotype to the rest of the world, but the Eagle has been used in stereotypical ways in that community for a very long time. So for American viewers, it felt odd seeing a French man trying to appreciate a culture he clearly doesn't understand. I have no idea what Astruc's reputation is in France, where he's from, but in the States, among his American audience, the man is a fucking menace. I was blocked on my personal Twitter account years ago by him. The reason? I question why the series changed from an episode to episode basis to a storyline, even though he fought so hard for the episode to episode basis. Many people find themselves blocked by Thomas simply for asking questions or discussing plot points in general. The issue with this is, he claims the series is specifically made for young children, but also expects the fans he interacts with to act responsibly for the others. Make up your mind, Thomas. Are we children or are we adults? Because you really can't have it both ways. Thomas had a huge ego. One so huge, he pulled a Butch Hartman and put himself in his own damn show as a fucking character. The only difference between what Butch did and what Thomas did is that Butch's character at least isn't named after him. The character in The Fairly Odd Parents is literally just a narcissist obsessed with his looks. Thomas put his entire self into Miraculous as a director. It did not make the audience like him more. In fact, it pushed many fans even further away. Thomas also loves to trash Chloe, his own fucking creation. He acts as if the child character thinks on her own. In his eyes, this 13-year-old child that he created can never redeem herself. She's too far gone. But the girl's corrupt government official father can redeem himself. Literal supervillain Gabriel Agreste can redeem himself. Other bullies can redeem themselves, just not Chloe Bourgeois, because that little bitch is too far gone. The abused, neglected, abandoned child is too far gone to redeem. In fact, she's worse than Gabriel Agreste and Lila Rossi combined. Nasty little whore. She's disgusting. She's awful. Devil spawn. Thomas, you have a problem. Look, I don't think Miraculous is really that bad. It's a fine show if you hate character development. In the 10 years the show has been in broadcasting, the characters are pretty much the same as they once were. In fact, I think the background characters have gotten more development than the main ones. My personal biggest gripe is with Marinette, our main character. When I say Mari is the main character, I mean it. The show may include the subtitle Tales of Ladybug and Cat Noir, but it's really just the Marinette show. Adrien has so little screen time from seasons 3 to 6 that fans were joking he wasn't even part of the superhero group anymore. Alia had become the new sidekick, and when the show decided to make an episode all about how Adrien is upset Ladybug doesn't even call him when she sees villains anymore and gets jealous at the mere mention of any of the other heroes, the show acts like he's the bad guy for confronting Ladybug. Ridiculous. No, I'm with you, Adrien. Fuck that dotted bitch. It's completely unfair that she expects him to just be fine with never being notified to a villain appearance when he's supposed to be half of a duo. Mari is also, undeniably, a stalker. She knows Adrien's schedule, like all of it, and has known it even before they could truly be considered friends. She literally follows him everywhere. I think Alex called it out once. But then she was gaslit by the other girls saying it's true love. True love? Y'all are 13, 14, and 15 years old. You probably don't even know what hentai is yet. I just don't like Mari, okay? I love her look in the original seasons. I like her name. It's pretty and fun to say, but I can't stand her, actually. I think Chloe would have made a much more interesting MC. Oh, look! Another problem I have. Nobody except for Nino ever talks about the fact Gabriel is abusing Adrien. It's like Nino is literally the only one who actually cares about him. He's the only one in the early seasons that actually talks about Gabe being weird for not letting his son do normal ass stuff and exploiting him, and also the only one in the early seasons who directly calls Gabe out on it. I get why other celebrities wouldn't, reputation and all, but surely teachers would have been like, this is very strange, let's call CPS, or whatever the French equivalent is. I know it wouldn't happen in a kid's show, but you know what should have happened? at least one episode where the child audience is directly told Gabriel's behavior is not normal. There are probably kids out there who watched old Miraculous, saw that no one was batting an eye at Gabe's weird obsession with keeping his son isolated, and thought, oh, if this cartoon dad of a superhero is doing it, then it must be okay. I don't know, maybe I'm looking too much into it. I think Natalie's story was brilliant all the way through, to the point that if you told me Thomas didn't write it, I'd believe you. Natalie's actions and obedience are very believable. Of course she's enabling Gabe because she thinks he knows what's best. Adrian is well behaved and kind. She's known Gabe since before Emily. She loves the man enough to be his rock when his wife passes. She's helped raise Adrian. Her motives are understandable. She wants as little drama for Adrian as possible, and that blinded her along the way. Only when Adrian started realizing how miserable he was, the more he got to know his friends, did Natalie start realizing how far gone Gabriel was. Gabe sucks. I do not buy that he was a normal man before the death of Emily. You're really gonna have to convince me he had a horribly tragic backstory before I ever believe he was ever normal. Because he wasn't, and he isn't. The man's a psycho yandere. He gives no shits about his son or how he's hurting him. He literally only cares that his wife is dead and he needs her back. Evidently, he doesn't care about Adrian, because in the episodes where his identity as Cat Noir is revealed to Gabe, he still kicks Adrian's ass and even traumatizes him to the point of Cat blanking the entire world. He was willing to sacrifice Adrian's happiness, Natalie's health, and everyone's privacy just to bring back his dead wife, who would have beat the ever-loving fuck out of him once she realized what he'd done to the son she literally died for. And at the end of everything, this dictator motherfucker got an entire memorial statue, as if he were a good person, and poor Adrian isn't even allowed to understand why everything happened. Ironically, I think Audrey Bourgeois is a well-written character. I believe that she's so selfish she abandoned her first daughter and husband to go to New York alone to continue her career in fashion. I totally believe she's the type of person to have an affair with an American man and have an entire other family in a different country. I completely believe that everything around her is only there for her convenience, and that selfishness is the reason Chloe is the way she is. Audrey doesn't need a reason to be a horrible person because she's a materialistic narcissist, and that's completely believable. Chloe is probably the most tragic character in the entire series. Her mother obviously doesn't care about her and has even said as much to her face. Her father is overindulgent because of that. She was raised by butlers and nannies, and she feels that the only way to have friends is to control them, because that's the only thing she's ever seen work for the adults in her life. To Chloe, the world runs on control and money. Friends aren't really friends unless they know you can literally buy their life from them. Everyone around you must be lesser than you, or you're not worth anything. Chloe has every reason to be a villain, and that's what made her almost redemption arc so fantastic. She was learning to be a better person, and she was learning that because no matter how much reputation, money, and power she had, her idol, Ladybug, seemed to hate her. So she tried bettering herself. She was slowly becoming a better person, learning from her mistakes and learning that being a genuinely nice person not only gets you more loyal friends, but also feels good too. She liked helping people as Queen Bee, and it also filled the void that was the lack of attention at home because people were praising her for being a good, helpful person. Then Thomas had to ruin it. The arc was thrown away in the worst way. There was no understandable fallback into her old pattern like there was with Zuko when Avatar: The Last Airbender. She was just a bad person, and that's it, according to Thomas Astruck anyways. Man, this entire video was just me ranting about a kids show because I hate the creators writing that much. Well, I think that's all I have to say about Miraculous for now. It was a promising show, and I haven't continued watching it because of the change in art style. I hate change, so when they changed the art style as drastically as they did, it made me rage quit the show. However, I may do a series on me watching the new episodes. Honestly, I can't wait to start that, but it might have to wait a long time until I can finally get my own place. Thanks for watching to the end. If you liked the video, please give it a like, and if you want to see more of my bitching, hit subscribe. If you'd rather not hear my bitching, but like what you see on the screen, follow my socials linked below because I do make art. If you want to argue with me or discuss any nerdy topics with me live, you can go over to my Twitch and give me a follow and a watch. My next stream at the time this video comes out should be Wednesday, December 17th at 7 p.m. I try to stream at least twice a week, and sometimes I play Love and Deep Space or Hitman, but lately Hitman has been majorly lagging on streams, so probably just art and lads until I can afford a better setup. Hope to see you soon. Bye! This is the part of the video that is the least edited, and I talk about whatever the hell I want. See, unlike the rest of the video, this part isn't scripted, so this is just me yapping, like actually yapping. My mouth is hella dry. I have a tooth infection at the moment. I have a dentist appointment today. I hope to get it taken care of. If they try to make me spend money on trying to save the tooth, I'm gonna tell them to go fuck themselves. Just pull it. I don't care. I'll get dentures. I really don't care anymore. Thank you for watching this far, if you have. Streaming has been going really well, actually. I like it a lot so far. I should be teaming up with Nova very soon. I know I keep saying that, but for real, we actually have a plan in mind. We're gonna draw together on stream, just chat, tell stories from college and shit. It's gonna be great. I realized that by saying Nova is my old college roommate, that I kind of like give my identity away. But you know what? For those of you who know, you just know. And that's okay with me. I don't have a problem with it, honestly. Thanks for watching, guys. Blah, 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 blah. Links in description. Go subscribe to Nova Chicks and Unorthodox and blah, 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 blah. Okay, bye.